Hey guys, guess what I'm about to do with this $1?
Buy a cup of lemonade?
Buy 5 4x6 photo prints at Walmart?
No.
Spiral notebook?
No.
You're going to get a house in Detroit?
No.
A Junior Bacon Cheeseburger Deluxe at Wendy's?
Not that either.
I know. 67 shares of Sky Power Solutions Corporation.
Close, but no. I'm going to head over to patreon.com/GameStitch and support my favorite podcast.
Why would you want to do that?
Because for $1, I can help support them to make brand new content for all the listeners, and I get access to their subscriber-only Discord, which allows me to chat directly with the hosts, and I'm automatically entered for any contests and giveaways that they do on the show.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a good way to spend $1, right?
Yeah, what about Sky Power Solutions Corporation?
I mean, I got $2. It's fine.
Huh, okay. Well, as long as everybody wins.
Yeah. How do we end this?
I think just like this.
Patreon.com/GameStitch.
Welcome to episode 219 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Hello.
And Matt Bowden.
Thanks for having me. Fucking idiot.
I thought for once we were going to get a good intro, and Dan, you just couldn't help yourself but to ruin it.
How did I do that?
All you had to do was let him say his piece.
Oh.
He let you say yours. I thought we were going to have a clean...
He did say his piece.
Yeah, you talked over it.
You know what? I've had a bad morning. I don't fucking hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Now y'all are talking to each other again. Good start to 219. Good start to 219.
Let's just end it now. Just turn it off.
When did you become Mr. fucking Professional, Ryan?
I mean, it's what I do.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I demand excellence, and that's what I provide to the listeners.
I'll let you hold on to that idea in your head for you.
Yeah, tell me more about how professional you are.
Yeah.
I'm not talking over anybody.
Not yet.
Not ever.
Show just started.
Not ever. See,
yeah, whatever.
Whoever starts first is not the person talking over. So as long as I get it out there quickly, it's on you guys.
Uh-huh.
So far I'm perfect.
So far.
Something to think
Don't
about.
Don't worry.
See,
She's
that was
get
you.
Away from me.
That was you. I started first.
I'm gonna puke. Show's already making me puke.
Man, that'd be a good thing to hold out for GameStitch Live if you could puke on camera.
I don't know why you're puking. Why are you puking?
Ryan always says it when people talk over each other. He always says, if you guys don't stop talking over each other, I'm going to puke.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, he does say that. You're right. I have no idea what that means.
I usually say throw up.
Yeah, it's like it, for some reason, sends your equilibrium into just this uncontrollable downward spiral, and you're going to throw up everywhere.
He confuses it with vertigo somehow.
Yeah, it's like a PSVR game that's walking you while you're walking the other direction.
But I don't disagree that it's not the most confusing thing in podcasting. But it's real life, goddammit, and I can appreciate that.
It's harder than people think to not talk over someone who's not sitting beside you.
That's true.
It's hard to do that if you're sitting with each other, I imagine.
Especially with the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we've all got such good opinions, we can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
We can always just blame it on the internet because we're hundreds and hundreds of miles apart, so...
So you're going because of the internet. I
had a coffee burp.
That's gross.
And yeah, I'm going with because of the internet.
Okay.
Because of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some video games. I don't waste any time.
Whoa,
Jesus.
I want to get right into it.
Fuck, dude.
There's a few reasons I want to get right into it. There's a couple things I really want to talk about.
Aight then.
So head over to GameStitch or YouTube.com/GameStitch. There's a video up. Matt and I played Death Squared.
Yeah, what a treat.
Our friends over at SMG supplied the game for us, full disclosure. But we did a video because we wanted to, not because we had to. And
yeah.
That game...
Now, when you say it like that, though, it makes me think we had to.
I'm telling you, we didn't have to. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Cough, cough. We really didn't have to. We just wanted to because it was that much fun when we played it. You played it first to kind of scout out and see what we were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, we got to make a video of this. So we did.
Yeah.
and we had a blast. Tons of laughter. It's a co-op puzzle game. It is couch co-op, so it's got to be something that you have the right setup to play.
Mm-hmm.
We
did share play.
Yeah, we fucked the system over and did share play so we could still play with each other over the interwebs.
Yeah. Which had its difficulties.
Sure.
And if you watch the video, you can see us playing and enjoy it, but audio wise, you're gonna hear.
Yeah, and definitely not the best way to play it. I've played it since just local, and it has been awesome. You had a slight delay, but luckily that game it doesn't.
It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't interfere with the gameplay. The game's something special if you have people to play with, and don't be scared of a puzzle game because it's refreshing. And so far, I haven't come to a puzzle where you didn't just eventually get it.
Yeah, and further, I think what is it? It's $20 on the PlayStation Store, and on Xbox Live.
Yeah, $19.99. Steam, Xbox One, PS4.
We've been playing SMG games since One More Line. That's the first game of theirs that we picked up and played as a group, and we've been following them ever since. And they don't make bad games. This is definitely a different game for them. It's the first console game that I've played, other than when they brought One More Line over to Steam. But normally it's high score games that they're putting out. Even Thumb Drift was about high score and unlockables. This game is not that at all. It's very much in the vein of Overcooked, where it's about solving a puzzle together. But part of the fun is like what you'll see in the video where me and Ryan are playing. Your first instinct is to just start moving and see what happens. And a lot of times that pushes an invisible block or throws up spikes. You end up fucking killing each other about 50 times before you actually figure out how to solve the puzzle.
There's a thing that happens sometimes when you die where the next one, it restarts instantly and your brain isn't working yet.
Yeah, you haven't stopped. You still got your thumb on the sticks.
Yeah, so you die. You kill, say I kill Matt, and then it respawns. I immediately do it again because I haven't registered that I can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Because it's so fast. So there's a lot of that. And then sometimes when you're trying to... You play as a square, in Death Squared. You're a cube. Sometimes when you're trying to maneuver around a tight space, you accidentally push your friend off to death.
Right. Sometimes you'll catch a corner, too, and tumble.
So I discovered something last night for the first time. If you fall on your side, you blow up.
Really?
It makes a beeping noise, counts down, and then you explode.
Like if you come off of a one block high onto a flat surface?
Or if you just catch a corner and you take a tumble.
Really?
Yeah. I flipped over a couple times. It's interesting.
My favorite part so far was the decals. Putting the mouth on your character and the eyeballs on mine. That was fun. So
I went right to that last night. Just to establish that the mouth was mine. Because Red is my dude. I want to say that too. I want to get out front and say Red is the guy to play with. He's got the one eye.
Right. So he's already a Cyclops. He's deformed.
And you put that happy mouth on him like he's the happiest cube in the world. And,
he does look stupid like that.
Yeah. So check out our video of that. And if that seems like something that fits your needs, definitely pick it up. It's fun. I think you'll have a blast with it if you've got a couple people in your house to play with.
Yeah. Also, just start following SMG. Pick up their games. One More Line is still like Finger Crack. It is the hardest cell phone game to put down ever in the history of the world. Those guys do great things. I cannot wait to see what they have next.
And I hope this game doesn't get lost in the sea of good games that have come out. That has come out this year, because it's really scratching an itch that there's not a lot out there for.
Yeah.
You talk about it in the video, but it's in that Overcooked vein.
Yeah.
That if you have, it's just a good party game, and don't overlook it. I know there's a lot. I know people are having to spend a lot of money right now. At least watch our video for it and decide if it works for you. But I think this game's got a good shot at being something that sticks around, and I hope they do DLC stickers for it. Yeah,
I hope they do some kind of DLC because they provided us with copies of the game, so I'd like to support them back in some way. Also, just as a criticism, I think games like this need online multiplayer, whether you intend for them to be played that way or not. Snipper Clips is a great example, and Overcooked is a great example. They suffer from the same thing. These are games that they would at least have it sell enough copies for the people who work on this podcast. Overcooked especially. I feel like if that were online multiplayer, me and you and Dan and Ricky, or me and you and Ricky and Sandra, or like I feel like we would all play that together, but because it's local only, it makes it harder to get, you know, like there's only so much of Death Squared that I'm going to be able to explore, because we don't know two other people to come hang out with us. So that's one of those games that sadly suffers from no online.
See, couch co-op serves me absolutely no purpose. I have no one to play with.
Right, that makes it tough, because that removes you from a whole section of games. Now, you can play Death Squared by yourself, but it's not the same. Like, what makes that game fun is playing it with other people.
Right.
So,
sure. And there was that huge outcry for the past couple of years of games not having any kind of couch co-op, and people being up in arms about that. But I think this is too far in the other direction. Like, you need couch co-op and online multiplayer.
I don't know. I feel like the couch co-op thing was just something else for people to bitch about. Kind of like backwards compatibility. Once you have it, you never use it. When it comes to couch co-op these days, with everybody's different schedules, things like that, it's how often
nice to have the option,
really
but
get used?
Yeah, it's nice to have the option, but it shouldn't be the only way to play the game. It shouldn't be, like Nidhogg shouldn't be local only. Like, it should have online. Games like that.
Starwall.
But yes, Starwall is a great example of a game that we all bought thinking we could play together and couldn't.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
We certainly got ready to play that and only realized we can't.
I remember we were all partied up and all talking to each other, and none of us could get it to work. You know why? Because it's not fucking there.
That, or we need to get our people at Sony on making SharePlay work with 4 players.
Oh yeah, well, I'll shoot them an email.
Yeah, fire one off.
See if they can't get it going this afternoon.
Yeah, just Sony at Sony.com. It'll work. Or just pick
PlayStation at Sony.com.
Could be that, or just pick a name like Greg.D at Sony.com. That'll be fine.
I'll just show up at the next board meeting. It'll be fine.
It'll go somewhere.
Who is this guy?
What if it's at PlayStation.com?
They're like, who is this guy? I don't know. He's been here all afternoon.
Just strut in and be like, listen, guys.
Let him vote.
First order of business, we got to get that SharePlay working for 4 people.
See about name changes, too. People are interested in that.
They are.
While you're over
I'm
there.
not as interested because I nailed it first try.
I'll check it out and see.
Yeah, people love Go Glory Hole. That's a big popular one.
It's not Go Glory Hole.
It looks
you just can't read your illiterate
like that. When I
bastard.
look up, it looks just like that.
What's it like living your life as an illiterate?
I mean, it looks just like that. Don't put your name so close to something that I enjoy.
My God.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't, because I know how to read.
You know what I'm saying?
To be fair, I like glory holes better than greyhounds, too.
Bingo.
All right, well,
Bingo.
I have a Greyhound, so
Nailed
If
it.
I had
makes
a
more
choice
sense
between one or the other, I'd take glory hole all day
Right.
long.
If you had both
Right.
hands out and you said one has a glory hole and then one has a greyhound, and I'm going to have to go glory hole.
Right. You've never experienced the majesty of a Greyhound, then, sir.
Never experienced the majesty of a glory hole either.
I bet you're going to go with that one first.
Right.
But as far as first-time experiences go, I'm leaning towards a glory hole myself.
I got a different bucket list than you do.
Right,
Obviously.
clearly.
All right.
Mine involves not getting an STD or my penis bitten off through a hole in the wall.
Well, sometimes you got to roll the dice, you boring bastard.
Yeah, you got to ride the fucking snake when it comes to that, I guess. My most prized bodily possession. Let me stick it in this fucking weird gangrene-infested hole. It'll be fine.
What's it like up there on your pedestal?
Yeah.
Is it nice?
The air is
How
fresh
small
looking
do
down on you fucking
all
pieces
those
of
people
shit.
look, man? How
Yeah.
small do
Yeah.
all those people look from up there?
How little are we
Like-
when you look down?
Like ants,
Can you
brother.
see me
like
waving?
ants. Nuh-uh.
So
Too small.
the other thing I play besides way too many hours of Zelda, which is fucking incredible. I can't beat the drum
Can't
enough
put
for
it down.
Zelda.
I can't beat the drum for the Switch enough.
I played a little bit of Bomberman. I'll wait to talk about that next week because I'm not deep enough.
Yeah.
My impressions wouldn't be good at this point. I will tell you that the battle mode, the classic Bomberman, is Bomberman at its best.
Okay.
But
Can you tell me, do I need to buy that?
We'll talk about it.
God damn it, okay.
There's some things I have to throw up about that. Toss up. I don't have to puke.
Okay, got
Um,
it. Roger.
But I played the Splatoon Global Test Fire. And so I really haven't given my impressions even to you guys. I was a big fan of the first Splatoon, so I jump into Splatoon 2. First off, fuck Nintendo for the way that they do their beta.
Yeah.
It's an hour at a time, and it was 3 times yesterday, and I think once on Friday and once this morning.
Like the most inconvenient times also.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're trying to do it 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday? We got you.
Yeah. Trying to do it 7 a.m. on Sunday morning?
Right.
How about midnight?
Yeah. So I did jump in last night from 10 p.m. Central Time to 11 Central Time. And it was more Splatoon. Being familiar with it, I was able just to jump in. I skipped the tutorial. I went right to it. I played matches for the full hour until it told me the servers were fucked. And I enjoyed myself. I played through all the weapons. They all have their own specials and their own... You can't do any customization as far as the way your character looks. It gives you a random character every time. And it seemed like every time I did good, I looked really dumb. Every time I looked awesome, and it was like, I need to win because I want them to see my character, I would be dead last.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that going on.
Reference for the future there. Keep that in mind.
Well, see, in the full game, you get to actually design your character and you get new clothes.
Well, make sure you make them look dumb, is what I'm saying.
That's how you win. By looking stupid.
Maybe it is. I wanted to... So there's this... I'll tell you what beta access has done to me. It's like Rocket League or Disc Jam. I'm like, do I get something for participating in the beta, or do I get something for doing a certain thing in the beta, or do I get multiple things?
Right.
So all I could think was, I need to win
anymore.
I need to win with every weapon, because what if they give you like a T-shirt for playing the beta with every weapon, or for winning with every weapon, or what if they give you one for winning? What if they give you one for being the MVP? What if they give you one for playing 10 games? This was going through my head last night. I was like, I have to do everything,
right?
Because what if there's something I can only get right now, and Matt won't have it?
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's the only trophy available on the Nintendo Switch?
Right. What if it's the start of the Nintendo coins, and you had to play that?
Yeah, to unlock it ever.
Yeah. So you just won't have it now. Like, what if you don't have like multiplayer now?
Like you and one guy ever. That's it.
So what was interesting? I played with. I got in with a good group at first, but you can't switch weapons if you keep playing with them. And we were really evenly matched, even though it was switching the teams up. And I had a blast there. When I switched. You should snap when I say that always. Yeah, there you go. When I switched weapons, I got in with people who were obviously better than us, better than the group
like
as a whole.
Developers.
Yeah, I mean, there someone had like 12 kills and no deaths, and I was like 2 and 3, along with everyone else. So it definitely changed the dynamic when there was somebody that was just beating ass out there. But I had a lot of fun. I'm excited to play with you and see what you think of it. One thing that's odd for anyone who's played Splatoon on the Wii U, you know that you have the twin sticks, but you also can move by tilting the gamepad. A lot of people shit on this at first, but then realize that it's actually faster than moving the thumbstick to tilt for small movements. You want to move the tablet; it's faster. So when I first started playing, I played in handheld mode, holding the Switch. It works just like the gamepad did.
Yeah,
it's like, this is cool. Now I want to go to big picture mode. I want to put it on the TV. I want to get my Pro Controller out, and I want to play like a big boy. So I dock it. I get the Pro Controller out. I get in. What I didn't realize is the Pro Controller also works with tilt.
Right, like it does in Zelda for those puzzles.
Right, so it's just like holding the gamepad.
I'm buying a Pro Controller right now.
Yeah, it's just like holding the gamepad, but it also does the tilt, and that's what I thought was awesome. That was the best setup for me, and I definitely hit my stride when I was playing that way. It's really fast. It's a combination of the stick and the tilt, though, so you really have to get acclimated to how it moves, because you can turn it off, but I like the tilt, and it's faster than the moving the stick, but you want to do it kind of in combination with each other. But I'm really happy with this. It's kind of far out, though. Mario Kart hits first, right?
Yeah.
Mario Kart hits the 28th of April. So
yeah, we'll have Mario Kart. Yeah,
20th of
before
April.
the end of next month. Yeah.
Right. I'm excited. I wish that. I almost wish they hadn't done it this early, because I'm ready to play it now.
Yeah,
it's such a unique idea.
I had fully planned to do the global test fire and ended up not being able to, because we went out for far too or stayed out longer than we intended to last night, and so I missed it, and I'm kind of pissed because I've never played Splatoon, and Splatoon's one of those games that I'm very interested in, and I wanted to get my hands on it to see if I would still be interested in it after playing it. So now I just got to bite the bullet and buy it blind.
Full disclosure, I was never going to play it.
You should have went out, bought a Switch, came home, downloaded it, played it with me,
and then taking your Switch back,
and then told Matt that while he didn't get to play it, you actually did.
Yeah,
and then he would be really confused. It's like you don't even have a Switch.
I did have a great time last night, but
it's no Splatoon 2.
No, it's no Splatoon 2. Splatoon.
Well, it should have just been Splatoon, but the TOO should have been a different color.
Yeah.
So, because it's Splatoon also. It's not really Splatoon 2. It's Splatoon.
Splatoon, 2 would have been good.
No, I like
Splatoon as well.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. It's like Splatoon also. Like, this is still Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with new maps.
Again.
New weapons.
Yeah.
And she looks fresh, I'll say. She looks good. And it played good, played fluid. I didn't get any slowdown. There's something special about being a fucking squid, though. I like it.
It still doesn't click with me. I still don't think I'm going to enjoy the game, but I hear so many positive things about Splatoon.
It brought me back immediately. I felt like finding that box that my Wii U is packed up in and getting it out, playing
Sure you did.
Some Splatoon.
Yeah, nobody's ever felt like
Nobody's
that.
ever thought that.
Nobody's ever wanted to do that.
Oh, I'm also one of the few people that enjoyed the Wii U, so fuck me, right?
Yeah,
that doesn't mean you want to pull it back out.
I did. I wanted to play Splatoon last night, and then I got also been having a hankering for playing Mario Maker.
Don't believe you.
I would like Mario Maker to come to Switch. I don't care if they do anything special with it. Just bring it over.
I'm sure you'll be in luck.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming.
I'm sure you'll be in luck.
I'm sure it's coming along with most other Wii games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I picked up another amiibo this week.
Oh, shit.
Did you tell me about this already?
I don't think so. I had a really feel-good moment, though, because I went to Best Buy not looking for anything, but not looking for anything. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Right. So I shoot straight back for the video game section because I'm not looking for anything. And I head straight down the Nintendo aisle, and I'm looking, nothing but bullshit. A bunch of Animal Crossing amiibo that nobody's buying. And I'm like, damn it. And of course, the one that I did buy, I want to point out my critical error. When the game launched, when Zelda launched, they had all the amiibo in stock. Every one of them that you could want for Breath of the Wild. I made a judgment call and went with the one that I thought looked the coolest. It seems to be the one that they ship the most of, so it's still available everywhere.
That's because it looks coolest.
The one that I passed on, which are way better and that I need, you can't find anywhere now. So I made a terrible decision, but I went the other night and they had the Archer, Zelda Archer, Link Archer, and it wasn't in the section, but I was leaving pissed off, and I was walking out, and they had like this little weird rack with Switch accessories, and it was at the bottom, and the package was all mangled up. So I'm like, well, damn, that's not really...
Not how you want to buy it.
Yeah, I'm going to open it, though, because I'm actually using them. But yeah. I like a fresh package when I rip it open. So I was like, whatever, I'm going to get it anyway.
Okay.
Not a pop on this. I haven't seen it anywhere since launch. So I get it, I go up front. And here's my feel-good moment. The cashier goes, damn, are there more of these back there? And I said...
Because they've been looking for it, too.
I said, no, it was the only one. And he was like, you could tell he's irritated.
Yeah.
And then here's where I want to be even more of a dick. I said, any chance I can get a discount because the package is all messed up?
Yeah.
So he calls the manager over there, and they give me 10% off. So not only do I buy the last one that he doesn't get, I get it cheaper than normal.
God damn.
Yeah. If I had stalled, I would have just flicked it in his eyes when I walked off.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if your house gets burned down.
Yeah, right. He's totally got my address because I use my Best Buy card.
Right.
You don't have a dummy address on that thing?
Hell no.
By God, I do.
Of course you do. 123 Sesame Street. I got you. Yeah, I was excited about it, and he can wait for one with a good package. He works there. I'm sure he's pulled some stuff for himself before. He's not a victim.
Yeah. God, we've all been there.
Yeah, he's not.
You open a box, you're like, I've been waiting on this. Let me just hold it back.
This is never going to see daylight. Sorry, guys, we don't have any.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar experience when I scooped up Binding of Isaac on Switch this week, which is limited print and kind of hard to get a hold of. So I've been looking for that everywhere, Best Buy, GameStop. I had the GameStop manager searching all the way down into Georgia to try to get one of those shipped up here for me. And we happened into a Walmart the other day while we were skipping work. And
whoa,
their redoing the electronics section in all the Walmarts here. They're making them like the old Walmart Kmart style, where like you can only go in and out in one spot, I guess, because people are stealing too much shit.
Yeah.
And I go back and there's a empty spot for Binding of Isaac with their other 2 Switch games that they carry. And there's a guy standing there putting Mass Effect out, and I give him the, like, hey, man, I see that there's, like, a price tag here, but do you think you have that? I'm sure you don't. And he goes, actually, I think I saw a box full of them in the back. You want to run back here with me, and I'll get you one. So we go back, and he's got, like, 6 boxes sitting there. And he just the first one starts just pulling games out randomly. He gets all the way through to the last box, and there's one fucking copy of it. And he goes, shit. I'm like, yeah, can I go ahead and get that? He's like, yeah, man, I thought I was going to get a copy too. I thought there was a whole box. I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry.
So you bought his.
More in. So I bought his, yeah.
I will say, I've only exclusively seen this game at Walmart. It's sold out everywhere else I go, but for some reason, every Walmart I've been to has had it in stock.
What, Binding of Isaac?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't find
It's the only one I've seen.
I can't find it anywhere else, but I've seen it at Walmart. One of them had multiple copies. Every other Walmart I've been to has only had one copy.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out why Walmart's able to keep it in stock, but no one else is. I'm not going to buy it because I got Bomberman instead, but it's
Binding of Isaac is a great game. It's not the only copy of it that I own, but I wanted that physical release for the sticker packets that came with it, and then the instruction manual is exactly like an old Legend of Zelda manual. It's got, like the little 8-bit picture of the weapon and what it does, and it shows it in game, like, and it's got the Nintendo style, like, hand drawn, like story elements in there, like the old Link to the Past instruction manual had. It's really cool. It's just a novelty, though. It's the only reason that I was searching it out. Otherwise, I would have bought it digital.
It's
I probably burned up a tank of gas looking for it.
It's a Plus edition, right?
Yeah. Binding of Isaac Rebirth Plus.
Is the game different, or is it just that extra stuff?
Same game.
Just the stickers and the stuff, the book.
Yeah. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth is the same one that you buy anywhere. I think the only way to get the only way that you would have ever gotten just regular Binding of Isaac, I think, is on Steam. Every other thing that it's on, and even Steam, is all Binding of Isaac Plus now. So, there's the extra game mode where you can it has like challenge modes where you can play it like they have a lights out mode where you go and you play and there's no lights in any of the rooms except for like what's illuminating Isaac. So you play it all in the dark. That's the only difference. The game is just the same.
Are you worried about losing the Switch games? They're real small. No,
because I got that sweet ass case, the little clutch with the red Nintendo Switch game case carrier thing.
So my games are also in the not in the same case, but they're in the case for the games, the red one.
Yeah.
So I was switching games last night, and I opened that case. They don't snap in there.
Yeah, I did notice that.
They just lovingly lay in a tray. I opened it, and it fell out.
Shit.
Where'd you go, Zelda?
Careful.
Where'd you go, Zelda?
That thing does snap together pretty tight, so when you have to pull it, it's like ripping open a bag of chips.
That's exactly what happened. I popped it open, gone. Didn't hear it hit.
Because it's light.
Nowhere.
It's like a feather, yeah.
Looking around, no Zelda. I'm like, God damn it. This isn't going to work for me.
3D print you a little thing.
I 3D print another copy of Zelda because I can't find it. I'm looking all over. I'm up under the couch. I'm like moving the coffee table, which it couldn't have been there, but I'm starting to panic a little bit. So what happened? It pops out, I guess, into the air. It's dark in there. I can't see. It lands on my microfiber cloth in the case.
Nice.
But I, for some reason, never thought that it would land in the case because I would have heard it because it's full of plastic in there.
Yeah.
So after searching the floor and going outside and punching the neighbors and taking out everybody that's anywhere around, I found it in my case, lovingly nestled atop my microfiber cloth.
But that made you feel just a little bit better.
Yeah, it did. I put it in the thing and said, if I got to lose a game, I'm going to lose Bomberman. I'm not going to lose Zelda. So, Dan, what have you just been freestyling? Not playing any games?
Yeah, I haven't been doing anything.
Right.
What do you guys think I've been doing? You guys have any?
It's playing Mass Effect. That's why I gave you that sweet joke up front.
Yeah, that's since before it came out. Yeah, all my spare time has been spent on Mass Effect. I'm about 35 hours in. Not all of that is some of that's multiplayer. Not all of that is single-player game story time. But, yeah, that's been my week.
So I need you to tell me about Mass Effect, because all I see is shit talk about the animations and the voice acting. Like, is it as bad as the couple of clips that people keep popping up all through the game?
No. I talked about it a little bit last week. Do they have those problems? Yes. There are some animation problems. They're mostly in cutscenes. There are some animation problems. But you got to remember, what you're looking at is a still shot of that animation. So all you have to do is sit there and stare at this horrible animation over time. You have no context of it, just flashing over the screen real quick. Continuing on. It does have animation issues. It does. I'm not taking that away from it. But for me, it's not taking me out of the game. I've played enough BioWare games. I know what I'm in for. I'm not expecting my animations to be perfect. I'm not expecting it to look like an actual person. I understand that that's what BioWare does.
Right.
Voice acting I have no problem with. I haven't had a single anything off with that. There's some minor lip syncing issues, but again, kind of to be expected from a BioWare game, and it does not take me out of the experience. I know there are some people out there that are encountering game-stopping glitches and bugs. I am fortunate enough, I have not been one of those. So
I think we saw this week on Twitter, Garrett posted a couple of videos for us. Garrett Wade, Superfan Extreme, posted some videos where he had some texture issues and like dropping through the floor and some very weird stuff happening in his game. So it's very unfortunate that. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's good that it's a mixed bag, right? Some people are experiencing it and some people aren't. That means that it's an easily fixed problem,
right?
But yeah, still sad on a release like that. Do you think it was rushed at all? That's the impression I get, is that they rushed the game out to hit a deadline.
I don't know that I'm getting that from it. I think there was stuff that probably did get missed in QA because of the size and scope of things. I'm almost not sure you can find everything. But I don't. It's possible it was rushed. If it was, I would say that would be on EA's part, not BioWare's.
Right.
EA probably wanted a deadline met. But I have, like I said, I haven't run into none of those, so honestly, I'm probably not the guy to comment on them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, this isn't the Mass Effect I know, Shepard, but it's a completely different story. And they BioWare maybe almost should have taken the Mass Effect right off of this, because I think that's the problem. You got to remember, the first trilogy was you and your squad were a group of soldiers, mercenaries, just these battle-hardened or world-weary people who came together to save the galaxy.
Right.
The whole thing is directed to an end. There's an end. That's the concept of the story. Is we get to he's the Jesus figure, for lack of a better term. The world saver, the galaxy saver. That's Shepard's role.
Right, and you know it from pretty quick in the first game. You know that's where you're headed.
Yeah,
yeah.
So and that's what the extent of those three games are. To me, it's a game about getting to that end, defeating the Reapers, winning the battle, saving Earth.
Yeah.
This is a group of explorers. Some of them are soldiers. None of them are the elites. There's very few mercenaries. This is a group of people. These are a group of explorers. This is the best way I can think of it is this isn't Wild Bill Hickok. This is Lewis and Clark.
Gotcha.
And they're sent out here to explore this new golden world for humanity. And they kind of have to make do with what they don't know what they're going to expect. They have an idea. But they're not here to save a world. They're here to find one.
Yeah.
It's a completely different story. It's a completely different theme. It's more about new beginnings than it is driving towards that end and saving the world. I think that's the biggest takeaway from it, is you have to keep that context in mind to enjoy that. That said, I don't mind it being in the Mass Effect universe because I am able to wrap my head around those differences, that the entirety of the Mass Effect universe isn't N7 shoulders and Spectres killing bad guys. Yeah. There's more to that world than that, and I love seeing more about that. So I think that's the biggest thing you have to keep in mind. I am personally loving the game, really, really enjoying it. I know, I understand where a lot of people's issues come from. Some of them founded, some of them unfounded. I do think you do the game a disservice if you try to compare it to the original trilogy.
Yeah. It doesn't strike me. So I get this, having not played it, but seeing what people are saying about the storyline and everything else, and the universe and the way it's unfolding from that point. Mm-hmm. I can see why people are complaining if what they expected was an extension of the original 3 Mass Effect games.
Right, it's not an extension of Shepard's story.
But they made it very clear that it wouldn't be that whenever they first started showing this game off. And so I kind of, what interests me in playing that game is exactly what you're talking about. The idea that it's not the same old hero's journey bullshit. It's about more of a Star Trek thing. It's about going out and finding something new.
Yeah.
Do you see a difference in, so you're not playing the elite soldiers? Does the combat feel that way? Does the combat feel like you're taking a step back from the other 3 games, or does that seem as fun as it looked in the previews?
I actually enjoy it better. It's much more faster paced.
Mm-hmm.
Opening up the your profiles to be able to not lock you into a profile is. I was afraid I was going to be overwhelmed by it, but I love being able to make that switch. It's no, you don't get that feel.
Yeah.
They are still. Don't snap at the switch, you fucking assholes.
It's organic. Just keep going.
Yeah,
it is not organic.
Don't say switch.
Yeah.
Why did Ryan just snap? I
knew Matt was going to say it.
Oh, you're fucking. Oh, now we get to anticipate it. Fuck you guys. Hope you do lose Zelda.
I found it.
Right out, goes in the fucking garbage disposal, accidentally gets turned on, boom, done.
I don't have a garbage disposal.
No, I hope you step on it.
Worth pointing out.
Why don't you get a garbage disposal?
I don't need one, bro.
Everybody needs one.
It's not true.
A bidet and a garbage disposal are the 2 most important household things you can install.
Nobody needs a bidet. You're stupid. That's just a drinking fountain for children.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Depends on the child, I guess.
Yeah.
No. Combat is different. I think the difference is it's not as. I'm not completely through the game yet either, obviously. But I think right now, early in the game, the combat isn't as high stakes.
Okay.
I think is the difference. You're still soldiers. You're just not Spectres and N7s and the best of the best, the special forces, that kind of stuff. But you're not supposed to be. You're, before the mindset was very singular. Defeat these people to save the world. Here you've got to think about the aliens whose homeworld this is. You've got to think about what's best for this whole group of people and your squad. Your decisions are far more ranging. They don't just involve live or die anymore. They involve prosperity and building humanity and peacekeeping efforts and humanitarian efforts. And so there's a lot more that's involved with the decisions you're making and your conversation wheel.
And that's far more interesting than defeat this person, or defeat this group. That's way more interesting.
And but I'm really enjoying it. I like my character. I enjoy my character. My character is turning out. He's caring, but he's not afraid to be an asshole either. You know, he already told the bad guy that if he didn't watch Step, he was going to fuck his shit up. Pretty much, you know, word for word,
verbatim.
that's what he said.
Verbatim.
I will fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
So I understand the complaints. And they're valid complaints. I don't know that some of them are as, this is the shittiest game ever. Take it back. I don't know about that. In the case of bugs and glitches, that's different. I haven't run into any of those, so I can't comment on those. But as far as the game itself, I am I am more than satisfied with what I am playing.
Ryan, did you pass out?
No. You know, I heard him talk about it last week, and I heard him talk about it this week. It's just, it sounds like it's just a totally different experience, and I feel like people are getting hung up on the fact that they're not necessarily a hero.
Yeah. I think that seems to be some of the issues.
That makes it far more interesting to me, though. You
know, they talk about how a lot of the complaints have been how, all my squad mates are fucking boring. No, they're not boring, but they're all running away from something. They're trying to explore something else for humanity. They do all kind of have that same background. That's kind of what's going on. You know, if you go back to the first game, all of your fucking squad mates were boring until you conversed with them and got to know them and learn more about their history and their personality and their story and what they're doing and that kind of thing. But it's, I think, I mentioned this last week. I don't know if you listened to Matt. I know you weren't able to be on.
Not the whole show.
But I think a lot of people are forgetting about Mass Effect 1 and expecting Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Which is when it's the third game in a trilogy that you can play for 120 hours each. Pretty much what you know is established, and that's what a lot of these people I think are what they're recalling about the Mass Effect games are the characters from the third after they've had 340 hours to develop.
Yeah.
When in the first 4 hours of the first Mass Effect, I thought,
Mass Effect 1 was pretty boring all the way up until the end.
There was some not so much boring. It was much more of the
a lot of the like attachment to the characters in that game was in the end of the game for me. A lot of like you make the decisions and things happen and it's a game, and when you get to the end it matters to me. In Mass Effect 1. Whereas Mass Effect 2 and 3, you're right. You know those characters. You know, like, your decisions from the first game that carried over into 2. Now you have a history of why those people are still around. Now you have a history of why those people are important. So it makes more sense that when you play that game, it's developed already.
Right. If you
developed it. Yeah.
Right. If you ask, I always liken it back to the Star Wars. If you ask a kid who's 7 years old after watching the 3 movies who his favorite character is, it's Luke Skywalker. Yeah. If you ask a 14-year-old after watching those 3 movies who it is, it's Han Solo.
Yeah.
Always, without a doubt.
Yeah, because Han Solo is the best character in those movies.
But you don't realize that until you've gone through some of the shit where you can identify with that. Until then, Luke Skywalker is the hero figure. And Han Solo and Princess Leia and Chewbacca and C-3PO and R2 are his squads.
Side characters. Yep.
Are his squad mates. So that's probably the best example I can give of that. But I'm starting to learn more about my squad mates, and I'm to the point now where I want to learn more about them. I'm starting, with all the Mass Effect games, when I go into them, I don't know who I want my romance options to be. Before the game even come out, I've heard, I'm going to bang this one. Well, you don't shit about this one. You don't shit about that character. But I like it to be organic. I like all of that, my play style, my playthrough, to be organic. I don't want to pre-plan for what I'm thinking because that's not how real life works. So what's the point of role-playing if you're not actually role-playing? So I've got some ideas now on who I like my character with and things like that. But it's possible I approach these things from a completely out of left field where no one else stands on it. But as far as I'm concerned, me and BioWare are straight. We're good.
I love how much you love this game.
I also want to point out, when I say it seems like people are having problem not playing as a hero, I'm not making light of all the issues that people are having.
Right.
Obviously, that's not the only problem. There are legitimate issues with this game that people are encountering, and that's a totally separate problem. But as far as the story goes, it seems that people are held up on the fact that you're not just a badass.
Yeah. But I like that. Yeah, I as much shit as we give Dan about Mass Effect, I love how much you love this game because you think about it in a way that, like, that's what, like, those big epic games, that's how you're supposed to treat them. And you like, I like that it means something to you more than just getting to the end. You know, I like it when games affect gamers that way. You know, like for me, it's Metal Gear. For you, it's Mass Effect. For Ryan, it's, you know, whatever shitty game he likes. But I love it when people find their game and they can talk about it, and it means so much more than just the game.
Well, the thing is when you love it, when you love a universe or love a game or whatever, you do tend to dissect it and analyze it more.
Yeah.
Than if you're just playing it from the beginning to the end. You start to question, what is it about this game? Why this one and nothing else? At least that's what I do. I'm like, why do I love this game and nothing else? Because a lot of people say that Dragon Age and Mass Effect are like interchangeable, and I completely disagree. I completely disagree with that.
I think it's odd how in love someone can fall into with a game. Like Mass Effect could have burned your house down and you'd still be good with BioWare.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that you're blind to the flaws, it's that you don't care because you love what they've made. And I think that's interesting, and I, as much as I love some games, I don't know if I have that same loyalty towards any franchise. You know, I love Little Big Planet, but I was like the first person to shit on Little Big Planet 3 like it wasn't good.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, Media Molecule's good with me, but you know, PlayStation's not for fucking that franchise up. And I love Mod Nation, but then when they said, hey, you know, United Front, let's make a kart racer and put Little Big Planet on it, I'm like, bam, perfect. Just took two things I love, you made them fuck, and they had a baby. It wasn't, though. Like, it wasn't great. And I just don't know if there's anything out there for me that that I'm so happy with the world that they've crafted for me or whatever they've done for me that I can just pretty much overlook anything they do now. Or at least see it in a positive light.
Well, and I don't want to give off the wrong impression here, is the game isn't perfect. The game does have problems. My thing is that the problems that it have, I don't feel affect the gameplay. I don't feel that the cutscene animations affect your gameplay.
Right.
I understand that it's weird to have a character just staring, unblinking at you with her play face. I understand that, but it's not affecting the gameplay.
Right.
It's not affecting the story of the game. It's a bad animation.
Yeah, but I'm hearing a lot of flack about the story too, in that it must take a really long time to get going.
It does, but
it's also a game of 100+ hours. So
yeah, but you know, I'm one of those people that constantly says I shouldn't have to play a game for 10 hours for it to get good. I don't feel differently just because it's an RPG. Like, I shouldn't have to play for a long time for it to be good. It's why I don't play any Final Fantasy games.
Well, hold on a second, though. What you're saying is completely different from the complaint you're talking about. The story could take a while to get. That doesn't mean the game's not good right off the bat.
But that's what I'm hearing, though, from the critics out there, is that it's not good off the bat. The only thing that feels good is the combat. And the story takes so long to get going, and the animations are goofy. You know, the animations matter to some people. Matt got hung up on Horizon. It never mattered to me at all, but he was all he could think about.
Sure. Yeah, it does. So animations do bother me in a game that comes out at $60. It's a AAA game that's, you know, supposed to be a AAA franchise that's being touted as a, you know, a system seller. Like, to me, if your game is that good, it should be that good. So to me, that is a complaint, but I understand how if the game means something to you, you're going to overlook it. Same thing with you and Horizon, Ryan. You overlook it because gameplay is king for you. So if you're having fun, you overlook the fact that somebody walks up from outer space off to the edge of a cliff. Like I get that.
It's such a small moment that you're so hung up on.
Yeah, no, and I have the same thing with Metal Gear, like bad voice acting, weird animations from time to time. Like I understand you can overlook something that you love, you really can, but on something I'm not sold on, it matters more. On something that I'm not invested in, it matters more.
I guess where I was trying to go is I'm not crapping on Mass Effect. I haven't played it, so it wouldn't be fair for me to. But when you look at all the criticisms and you think about people that those things do bother, if they feel like I do about story and that they don't want to wait for it to get started, and they feel like Matt does about animations. When you start adding up all those things and the love that people already carried for Mass Effect, I can see how you immediately dismiss this because it's not the thing that you wanted it to be, and then what it is has issues.
But to your story issue, I think that's part of it. I think that's on purpose on BioWare's part. It goes back to the context of the game. You are exploring. You are finding things out for the first time. That is not a process that just happens. It's not like, boom, I know everything. There's a process that happens. It takes time. It takes steps. It takes relationship building. It takes exploring a planet to start to learn these things to put together.
But people are so in love with the past. I hear that, they do a really shitty job of explaining why some of the races aren't there, and they do a bad job incorporating the ones that are there. And again,
I understand that people are so in love with the past. But what I would say to them is then go play those games.
I guess, but it was a new Mass Effect. Like, I just almost wonder if they should have just made this something else. Why did it have to be Mass Effect?
Well, that's like Dan was saying, where they probably shouldn't have put the Mass Effect moniker on there.
I did say that.
Sure, it could have been in the same universe, but maybe don't drop Mass Effect on it.
Doesn't even have to be in the same universe. The way I understand that the things that are there are incorporated, you could have totally made that something different.
You could have.
This game is probably regarded much better if it's not a Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But I like the extent. I like that it's Mass Effect. For me, I like that it's Mass Effect. I like the extension of that universe.
If this game was Star Explorer that BioWare made and you had never played, would you feel any different about it, though?
Probably not.
If it didn't have the tie-in to Mass Effect, but it was Star Explorer, Galaxy Unknown, or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
It's very possible. I don't know, because that's I don't know.
Right. I just wonder if they would... And I 100%, and again, I don't know anyone there. I don't have any inside information. I 100% think this game was rushed out to hit fiscal year. That's why they had to get it out in March. I don't know how much time it would take to fix some of these things, though. Obviously, the story issues that people have, those really can't be fixed. The story's written in a way that's how it's going to roll out. The animations could and should have been fixed. Their early game, they knew they were messed up. Why they decided to roll forward is probably an EA question, not a BioWare question.
Right.
But at the same time, it's unacceptable when Assassin's Creed does it. It's unacceptable when Mass Effect does it. That's just the nature of video games. It's unacceptable that Drive Club was broken when it came. It doesn't matter what it is. If people pay their hard-earned money for it, it's got to work. And it's got to be right. And this is a known issue. You can't tell me that they didn't know somebody's face is fucked. Somebody's got dead eyes.
I don't know that... I don't know that fucked is the right word.
Face is fucked, Dan.
It looks like a face. It doesn't look as good as some other faces, and it doesn't blink.
Sounds fucked.
I mean, that's the extent of it. It's not like they have like two eyes and just teeth in their black hole of a fucking head.
So maybe it's not
Assassin's Creed.
Maybe it's not Unity fucked, but they fucked.
Right. It's not Unity fucked.
We spent a long time on what we played this week, so we're gonna cut some of these other stories kind of short. I still want to go over them though.
Cool. Hit me with that rigmarole if you still want to do that.
I always want to do that. I'm interested. If this was your first podcast and you just spent an hour on us, I'm interested that you had no idea what we were going to talk about.
Ever want to listen again?
So please write in podcast@gamestitch.com and tell me what the first hour is like not knowing what this podcast was about. Because I think that's interesting. For everybody else, though, hello. How are you guys? Or ladies?
Hola, amigos.
We don't know our demographics. Because of the internet. We don't know anything.
Because the internet.
Right. That's my new blame for all of things that go wrong. The internet.
Yeah.
If we just did away with the internet, I think we can all agree the world would be a better place. Each week, we get together. Sometimes we're best friends. Sometimes we argue. That's what makes it beautiful. We give you all the gaming news and nerd culture that you want. We wrap it up in this dumpster fire that you've been listening to for the last 56 minutes. That's free of charge. That experience. We don't charge you to hop in this dumpster and cuddle up with us. It posts every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world. That's all over. Anywhere.
Woo!
I would challenge you to find a place that we're not. And if you do, email me. Let me know. I'll fix it if I can. But make sure you listen. Make sure you tell your friends, your grandmother. I like people to tell their grandmother because I think any grandmother would find this show totally unacceptable.
Totally unacceptable?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
This show, not grandmother approved.
No.
Not grandma friendly.
Probably
Not
not.
grandma friendly. Right. Not, was it GILFs? What's grandma?
Gilfs.
Yeah,
It's a GILF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not GILF approved. For sure. No silver foxes listen to this podcast.
I don't approve of Gilf. I don't like that. I don't like it.
You don't like that? Why?
In my mind, a grandma's like 80.
To be
so-
fair, you can have like a 40-year-old woman who's a GILF.
Dan's
Yeah,
totally on
I
board with
know
GILFs.
Yeah, I know all about that. I'm just saying, like, sometimes, like, when you say grandma, I imagine my grandma. I imagine Mimi. And Mimi is an old lady.
That's like, well, here's the thing. When, there's people like, I remember when I was in school, there was people who were like 15, 16, 17 years old. They liked older women.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that ever stops for those people? Or like
No.
when they're, say, 50, they're into 62-year-olds and stuff like that?
No, I can tell you. Oh, you say, like, when you hit a certain age, like, it's too old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like an older lady. Sorry, Ricky, if you're listening.
Ooh, this got weird.
Because Ricky's younger than me, and I love her very much. But like before Ricky, like I dated exclusively older women.
Yeah, but if somebody's 45 and is a grandmother,
Yeah, like I dated a lady who was in her 40s but was a grandma.
yeah, you got to make some
And,
exceptions.
Yeah, like that. I don't think that doesn't change. I didn't imagine her as a grandma.
Yeah, you fall that
even
under
though
the MILF category.
Yeah,
Right.
because she was in the age, but yeah, like so
Not the
if
guilt.
But it was
So-
a GILF.
but let's say
Biology says so.
right, but let's say that you take so if you're a guy and you're into older ladies, let's say she's 10, 15 years your elder. What if you're 65, she's like 100. so like
No,
You'll both
that's
be
not how
dead
math
before
works,
then,
to be
if it-
fair.
she's like in her 80s, 90s like
yeah. If you're 65,
start-
she might be 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like now you are talking about somebody who's like way too old.
In
for
fairness, though,
even-
dog years, you're all dead.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I've just always been curious about that because I know people
think
like
that-
that in school who like
Maybe
were
the
into
gap
30-year-olds
closes.
and they were like 17. So
Maybe the gap just starts getting smaller and smaller. So when you're like 60, you're into like 63-year-olds, and you're like, this old bitch is coming home with me. Like
Well,
maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
The gap seems acceptable right in the middle. Where it's
Yeah.
unacceptable is when they're 20 and you're 10.
Yep. Or the other way.
Or when you're 60 and they're 90. That's
Gotcha.
the gap is weird up front. The gap is weird in the back. In the middle, everything seems fine.
It's because biologically it lines up, right? When you're when a guy, not to generalize, but biologically this is how it works. When you're in your 18 to your mid to late 20s, like 18 to 28, right? That's when you are the most sexually active and libido driven. And for a female, it's from ages like 32 to 47. Like that's how it works. So that's why that happens.
Thank you,
Welcome,
Bill
Jason.
Nye.
Welcome to the human body with Matt Bowden.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what it is.
Thanks
Like
for
that's
joining us.
that's why younger guys like older girls for a certain period. It's because there's a point where when a woman hits that age, like all she wants to do is bang, and that's it. Like so that's why it works, because that's when guys want to bang.
Oddly enough, I could
All the
listen
time.
to you talk about this more because it's super awkward.
Yeah,
And there's a part of me that kind of likes it a little bit.
Yeah,
it's totally a thing. It's totally a thing. Now, what I can never understand is
No, that
why
was,
like
I'm not sure that was an invitation, but go ahead.
Right.
I can never understand why like guys my dad's age, so like we're talking about in their 60s and older, want to date like 20-year-old girls.
To feel
Can't
young,
wrap my
bro.
hand- I get why the 20-year-old girl wants to date a guy my dad's age, because dude's fucking just loaded with cash, and she's going to get a Maserati out of the deal.
So you're generalizing.
I'm generalizing the whole time.
Ooh, I don't know.
So
This whole
It probably is generalizing. I'm not sure that it's false.
Papa Bear
Yeah,
wants
like,
to
is
feel
it
young.
wrong?
Papa Bear wants to hold on to that youth.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
There's
it.
no way to feel younger than by just nestling up next to some youngness. And,
Right.
and maybe she finds experience and she finds like security in the father figure. Or maybe it's about
Yeah,
that wallet.
Or she's incredibly
maybe.
damaged and needs
Daddy
that father
I'm gonna go with that.
issues.
Daddy issues.
If you want to support this podcast,
Yeah, let's move on.
head over to patreon.com/GameStitch.
What happened?
That grows future projects. It grows this project, and it allows us to expand. We've got cool rewards. We've got cool goals. Check them out. And at the end of the show, we're going to read our supporters.
Yeah, we are. We hit a goal this past week, actually.
Hit a goal.
Yeah, so we have a second show that we'll be rolling out. GameStitch Live. If you've been following the show, we did a live show at number 200 and we did a live show at number 215 that will essentially function as tests, even though they were event shows. They were basically proof of concept that we would be able to do this. So thank you to our supporters. You've successfully funded a second show that will be live.
And to be clear, this is a totally different show. This is not the podcast. It's not an episode of the podcast.
Yeah, it won't be to replace the podcast. It'll be different content. It will be a lot more about us and interacting with you guys. It's going to be a lot more about giveaways. If you go to Patreon and look at the goals, it's a lot more about being able to give you guys things, being able to interact with you guys, and doing a show that's a lot more about kind of what the last hour of the show was, which is telling stories.
To give you an idea of how much this isn't going to be the podcast, the live show will probably start with something episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which is
it
weird.
will not be any sort of continuation or
Yeah, it's not gonna-
amalgamation or have any involvement with the official GameStitch podcast.
Yeah. It won't replace your episode, so you won't have GameStitch Live episode 1 and then that be the replacement for the official GameStitch podcast episode 220. It won't be anything like that. So we'll have some more details about that. We do have a newsletter that goes out if you subscribe at the $2 level. So if you want to be more involved or more informed about what's happening in the background and what we're working on, that would be the way to stay in the know.
So I think what you guys are trying to say is that on the week that happens, you're going to get 2 podcasts.
Yes.
Sorta. Only one's not a podcast.
GameStitch Live isn't a podcast. Yeah,
Right.
it'll be
You're going to
YouTube.
get 2 shows, though, on that week.
Yeah.
It'll be on YouTube, probably on Twitch when we do it live. It'll be somewhere, but it'll definitely be on YouTube after the fact.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's something to look forward to. Remember, this show's always free, but your hard-earned dollars and support allow these other shows to happen. So if you can't support us, that's cool. Support us by telling your friends about our Patreon, and support us by telling your grandmothers, most importantly.
Mm-hmm.
Granny, listen to this podcast. Maybe do it at Christmas, around the holiday, Thanksgiving, when everyone's at the table. Just put it on and play it.
Do you not remember what happened last time you mentioned grandmothers? Do you not remember what happened?
There's no way that anybody has more grandma talk. Okay, real
put a
quick
lot of-
though, before did everybody
A new show, Grandma Talk.
Did everybody have a grandmother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you call yours,
Mimi.
Mimi? What about you?
Grandma.
Grandma. Yeah, that's right. So I had oddly enough, I had grandma and papaw. So
I never had a granddad. They were all gone.
Gotcha.
But I had Mimi.
I had a grandma and grandpa Reamer and a grandma and grandpa Reese.
also, you didn't get carried away at all.
No.
And I also had a grandmother and a grandfather. I wasn't
Jesus.
super close to them. It was very official. But I had a grandma and a papaw, and those were the ones I was closest to. And I always think it's odd because for some reason the grandmother is one of those that's acceptable. You could call her anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can be like, wee wee, that's my grandma. Like
Meemaw.
it doesn't matter. Like you just pick some things that you can mumble when you're a small baby child, and you just call them that
Yeah.
forever.
That's how we got Mimi.
That's
Yeah.
usually how it happens. Is one of the children says something character doesn't say something, but actually just makes noises as bubbles flow out of their fucking mouth and snot runs out of their nose, and that's Grandma's name.
Now you got Grandma Baba.
Yeah, we got Mimi and Aunt Dee Dee.
Yeah,
that exact way.
Somebody was hitting that dee 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 dee. That Morse code.
Couldn't let up all.
Yeah, I was slamming that Morse code down.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into first story.
Right then.
The Lost Legacy, the new standalone Uncharted game, won't feature Nate Drake.
I feel like we knew this.
So we
did know this.
It was finally confirmed that he won't even make a cameo. He won't step in and be like, "Hello, ladies."
That's fine.
And this was initially going to be the topic of the show, but we've spent so long talking about everything else that I wanted to keep it quick. But will this turn people off? That was my question. That's what I wanted to expand upon, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. Just quick thoughts. Will this matter?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Those were quick thoughts.
Done. Yeah.
I don't think it will matter in the quality, and I think they're trying to tell a different story, and I think this allows them to do so. I do think it will matter with some people.
I think with Uncharted 4, they made it very clear that Nathan Drake doesn't have to be in the story so Nathan Drake is in the story, but clearly Sam was a great character that people cared about. If Nathan Drake hadn't been there, you still would have cared about Sam, right? I think that they've established that they don't need Nathan Drake there to tell an Uncharted story now.
They put a bow in his story too.
They did, and they did it with Golden Abyss also. Like, he didn't necessarily need to be in that game for you to give a shit about what was happening in that game. But I think with Uncharted 4, they really solidified that, like, had that game been exclusively about Sam, it still would have been an Uncharted game. It still would have been great. And, I think they can continue that way.
I like Chloe, so.
Well, and the game spotlights two people who met because of their interaction with Nathan Drake.
Right.
Yeah. So certainly I assume he will be in the dialogue. And there will be references. And
it just won't be, he won't show up in the story.
It won't be obvious, right? It won't be like, they won't get stuck and he won't come in to save the day.
Right.
And I don't think he should, but I do think there will be people who are turned off by the fact that he's not in this game, just because Uncharted to them is Nathan Drake.
I don't know. I feel like those people are probably few and far between. I think if they'd have tried to do this with the first game, yes.
But those people are the loudest.
But now that we've come out with the last 4 games and the Golden Abyss and such, I don't know that you'll see it be much of an issue. I think, again, time has grown enough that these characters have gotten attached to. People remember Chloe. They want to know more about Chloe.
You want to know a lot more about Chloe. Let's just be clear. I mean, I'm on Team Chloe also, but you really want to know a lot more about Chloe. And Matt likes Elena.
I like Elena.
Because he's boring.
That seems right.
Vanilla, please.
Yeah, I will say that with Chloe, you'll wake up one day with a smile on your face and an empty bank account.
Yeah, no doubt, but that's part of the fun.
But there's something special about that.
It goes back to the glory hole talk. It's all about the risk versus reward.
Yeah. But don't worry, she'll be back because she'll never let you go all the way.
No.
She'll always hold on to that little piece of you so that you can't move on.
What's the old girl from Uncharted 4? What's her name?
Nadine?
Nadine.
Yeah, I like Nadine, too. Nadine scares me a little bit, and I like her.
Nadine does scare me, not just a little bit. Nadine scares me a lot. Like, if I said the wrong thing, she'd backhand me.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be fun?
No.
No?
I don't like getting hit.
I think Nadine's
there is no middle ground for you, is there, man?
No grandmas, but he's in the hitting.
He either wants them super boring or punch my face in.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's it.
We'll
Nailed it.
This game's going to be fun, I think. I'm going to play it. I'm excited to play more Uncharted without Nathan Drake. Hopefully the haters who are going to hate, they're not so loud that they drown out the good from this thing.
I hope so, too.
Yes. Free Xbox One/360 games for April have been revealed. We don't have PlayStations yet, but I want to run through this list in a timely fashion. So on Xbox One, we have Rise, Son of Rome from April 1st to the 30th. You're going to get that beast all month long. Download that, Dan. I've got it also.
Wish they'd spell that correctly.
Don't you need a Kinect for that?
No, I don't think so. The Walking Dead Season 2 you're going to get from April 16th to May 15th. On 360, you're going to get Darksiders from April 1st to April 15th, and Assassin's Creed Revelations from April 16th to April 30th. Those are your free games with gold for April.
Great.
Yeah. Rise was a neat idea. That's what I'll say about Rise. Cool idea, bro. Probably needed some more work, though.
A little refinement.
Yeah, maybe. Well, and maybe a fresh start once you had that good idea. Now. Maybe just make a different game. It looks like Super Mario Run didn't make quite the profit that Nintendo wanted it to.
No kidding. That's because of their stupid pricing structure.
So it had 78 million downloads, which sounds awesome. That was just on iOS. The problem is that only 5% of those people converted to the full game, which was $10. You could do the math. The point is that it wasn't as much. The equal sign wasn't as much as they thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But Nintendo says they're committed to this, and they're going to continue to release 2 to 3 mobile games a year from this point forward.
They just got to get rid of this pay structure.
So
the idea
pay structure does not work.
Mobile games don't cost that much, and they shouldn't cost that much.
So they've done Fire Emblem, and they've done Mario Run so far. Obviously, they've got their hand in Pokemon Go. That's not really their game.
Right.
But they have 2. They delayed Animal Crossing, which I think Animal Crossing is the one that's going to be done right. I think that because I love Animal Crossing. So until they come out and fuck it up, I'm gonna be on their side and say that it's the one they're going to get right, where they're just going to charge, and then when you buy it, you have a full game that you can play with everybody. That me and Matt can be harvesting peaches together.
Why do you think I'm going to play a fucking mobile game?
Because I know you're not.
Mobile.
But I know Dan's not either, so I could have said either one of you. It didn't really matter.
Yeah.
The point is that Animal Crossing and multiplayer go hand in hand, and if they do it right, and they either don't charge and let's let you buy cosmetic stuff, house upgrades, anything like that from Tom Nook, or they do charge and just let you play the fucking game, I think this game has the best chance of making sense because there's already a built-in economy for that game.
Yeah.
So I hold out faith. I mean, they're still making plenty of money. Definitely Mario Run still made money, and it just came to Android last week. So I think it still probably did fine for them, but short of the mark. But if you listen to them, the way the Switch is crushing it, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, Switch is awesome.
We talked about it several weeks ago, maybe even months at this point, but finally Battle.net is no more. It has gone. When you go now, you just simply have the Blizzard app.
No, but they basically just changed the name of that service, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
There will be no more Battle.net. It's now just Blizzard app. It's just a launcher. Fine. Doesn't matter.
That's all it's ever been.
Yeah.
Or that's all it's been since, 10 years ago.
Yeah, just didn't. This makes sense, but I think for people to know it's coming is one thing, but to see it say something different for some people is like a piece of me died a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's been Battle.net since 1997 or some
Right.
shit like that.
So now,
20 years.
So now you're going to say Battle.net and be like, or whatever launcher
Whatever
app.
the fuck they call it
right.
now.
That's
Yeah.
what's going to happen. The conversation can shift to that now.
It'll be Battle.net forever.
So this is a story that Dan sent to me, but it was obviously kind of everywhere circulating the internet this week. GameStop took a little bit of a beating this holiday, and they're going to close 150 stores in 2017.
So that's crazy to think about.
It is, but there's a little more to the story than just that. So they were already planning to close stores, not this many, but they were planning to close stores. They're also they're going to open 35 more stores. And that's just
I
for
think
the GameStop
those are going to be
brand.
the ThinkGeek and mobile phone stores, though. Or technology stores, whatever they're calling it.
So 35 GameStops, 65 technology brands. So GameStop and ThinkGeeks, I don't think there's any ThinkGeek standalones. I think they're all combined.
So, because we have a ThinkGeek
You have just a
store
ThinkGeek?
here in one of the local malls.
Yeah, that's weird. All right, so 35 is split between GameStop and ThinkGeek, and then 65 are their technology brands with all their cell phone providers and their Mac authorities. So
Yeah. I understand the GameStop has to diversify. It's just weird to think that that's what that company has come to. And when we worked for it, when we were at GameStop, we saw them changing. I think Dan probably got out while it was still a game store, and you got out right when they started changing. I hung on until we were selling cell phones and tablets. It's just very weird to see like a boutique style specialty store turn into something that's all encompassing and weird and not about what it was about.
I don't like to ask for
If that
help,
makes
and I
sense.
have to ask for help now because I can't fucking find anything.
Man, I can't remember the last time I walked into a GameStop and the walls had games on them.
Well, they have to like part the sea of plush Five Nights at Freddy's dolls to get to the thing I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no wonder I couldn't find that.
Oh, don't forget
Right.
the clearance T-shirts.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
there's stuff everywhere, socks and trinkets, and I love that stuff, but put it somewhere else.
I don't like it at games. Like I want to go to GameStop to buy games,
Yeah,
and now I go to Best Buy because their game section only has games in it.
So this is obviously impacting to GameStop, but this article should read GameStop transitioning, closing 50 stores.
Yeah, because they're not really closing. They're closing 150 GameStop brand stores. They're opening 100 more stores.
Right. So it's impactful, but it's also, I guess it's impactful to the GameStop customers, but not impactful to the GameStop brand.
No, it's impactful to the. I think what it's the games, the physical sales of games part that is affecting it, and that's what I thought was the draw to the story. That's why I sent it to you. It's the aspect of selling physical games that people aren't buying anymore for whatever reason.
No, I disagree with that. I think people are buying them. They're not buying them from GameStop. Like Matt said,
because
they did blame big box stores.
they also
Amazon,
blame AAA, which
Walmart.
is bullshit. Because I went to Best Buy yesterday, and you had to spray yourself down with cooking spray to get through the aisle
Yeah.
of their video game section. Then I went to a GameStop that I want to point out that I would have closed yesterday if I had the authority. I hope it's part of one of the 150. But I went there, and there was only 2 people in the whole store. There was 2 people working there, and then me and another customer. And
the problem with
it was Wild West in there.
The problem with GameStop, that the reason I shop exclusively with Amazon and Best Buy for video games is because I can get a 20% discount and they'll fucking price match. I can go to Best Buy with grab a game off the shelf, find it from a seller on Amazon for cheaper, and get it at that price, or I get a 20% discount. You walk into GameStop and they won't price match. They don't give you a discount on new games because they're so, like, I get it, their business model is all about pre-owned. Like, that's how they make their money. But they don't also cater to the people like me and Ryan who exclusively buy brand new games. And you have to cater to both markets, right? If you're going to give somebody a discount on pre-owned games, that's fine, but I need an option to get a discount on new games. And because I can't get it at GameStop, I don't shop at GameStop. Mm-hmm. That's they're losing business right there.
I'll tell you what the problem is, or I'll tell you one of the reasons. What I think is one of the reasons is you walk into Best Buy, you grab your game, you go up, they say, "Do you have a rewards card?" You say yes or no, they cash you out.
Yeah.
You go to GameStop, you navigate through the fucking alley of a store that's just got a bunch of stuffed animals and collectibles in the way because they put the games all the way in the back now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You go back there, you get your game, you go up. Did you find everything okay? Yep. Would you like to pre-order this? No. Well, we also have this coming out. It's pretty similar. Have you heard about? No, I just want the game. Oh, are you a Power Up member? No, I'm not. Oh, well, let me explain. Okay, you know what? Here's your game. I'm going to Best Buy because you know what? They'll ask me one fucking question and that'll be the end of it.
If that, I might get a shitty employee and they just ring me out and I don't have to deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. I actually prefer that.
Yeah. I like to get the guy who's like, I don't normally do this, but like I normally work in the back. Let me ring you out real fast.
When we worked there, we hated pushing that stuff, but we did it. But we did it in a conversational manner that didn't come off as offensive.
Yeah, but I'm
not getting that from these people.
That was always the ickiest part of GameStop was when your store manager, your DM walks up behind you and goes, "Hey man, you got to push Call of Duty," and your response, "I don't play Call of Duty." And I don't give a shit about Call of Duty, so I'm going to have a hard time pitching it. Well, pitch it to everybody anyway. Yeah, but what about the guy that walked up with Banjo-Kazooie? Fucking tell him about Call of Duty. Well, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, why don't I tell him about this other game? GameStop is, like, when you make the people who come in and shop with you feel icky, they stop shopping there.
Right.
And
that's why I feel like I know the three of us, when we all worked together, we came off very conversational about it.
Yeah.
But I don't get that now.
From the other side of the counter, we didn't like that,
Now people get pissed. These people seem to get pissed off when I say no.
Yeah, but
how do we want to fucking help you then? Well, good, don't. Here's your fucking game.
To be clear, the way we were doing it was not in line with the way they asked us to do it.
Well,
that is true.
That's true.
We were the fucking rogues. But we also performed.
Yeah.
Ryan ran a good store when we worked for him together.
I mean, that allows some freedom when you're performing, but, we were not doing it the way that they asked us to do it, but because we were successful, we got away with it.
That's true.
But I think the company, our view on the company is a little different because the way when we were allowed to still do it the way we wanted, we were happy with the way we were running a store. But that wasn't the norm even then for GameStop.
True.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future with them.
It will.
I don't think physical's dying because, like I said, even Walmart had people waiting to get games yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think physical's alive and well. I think the scary part now is has GameStop, are they dying? And I don't know the answer to that.
Right. And they need to make a drastic change to their business model that does not involve pressuring the customers. It needs to involve their side of the profits and payments.
There's a way to get customer buy-in without pressuring them, and that's just being knowledgeable, and that's where GameStop falls short.
Yep.
Now, Best Buy and Amazon and all that, I want to be clear, these people aren't knowledgeable either. But they're not in a specialty store that only sells video games.
They're not,
Right.
and they're also offering price
Refrigerators and shit. And
but
discounts.
they're offering discounts to make up for their lack of knowledge.
Correct. So, if I went to a Kmart, if there was still one you could find that was open, and I said, "Hey, tell me about this game," and they said, "I make $8 an hour." I get that.
Yeah.
Right.
But when I go to Mattress Firm, I expect for them to know about fucking mattresses.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable to walk into GameStop and them not have any idea what they're talking about, and they almost never do. And I get so furious sometimes because I just want to buy my game and be left alone, but they feel the need to talk to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I just get... it makes me so mad because I'm like, you don't know. Don't speak to me. And this is an asshole way to feel, but like don't talk to me about it if you don't know, because it's going to make me think less of this store.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're a specialty store. It's the only thing you should know about.
Right. Or when I tell you I'm not interested in that game, you should know enough to either shut up or segue to a game that you think I'm interested in. If I walk in and you say, "Hey man, what's going on? You play that Battlefield?" "No, first person shooters suck." Don't then proceed to ask me about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Don't.
But they don't know anything. They know that they're told to push these games, and they do. Most of them are kids, and it looks like a fun place to work, and it's not an excuse, but the reason we were so successful when we worked together is because our whole staff was knowledgeable.
They were all gamers.
We did.
And
we had gamers on staff.
And we required that, and we gave people shit who weren't knowledgeable until they were knowledgeable.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's something that I saw after you guys left the company. I worked for a manager in Nashville that he would not hire gamers because he didn't want them to stand around and talk about video games. And that was an attitude in Nashville.
I mean, there's certainly a give and take with that. You can't spend your entire shift talking to somebody about, no scoping people. But you also have to be able to carry a conversation so that person trusts you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? And then, the thing that we did was we would pass it off. "Oh, you're interested in stealth games? Let me get the fuck out of your face. And let me get you somebody over here that can talk to you about them, because I'm about to piss you off."
Right.
And
by telling you how much I hate that shit.
And I think that's important too, is that you want diversity in the type of games people play, and it seems like you don't get much of that. If you do get someone that's knowledgeable, they have the very same opinions, and some of the arguments you used to have and some of the disagreements about the games that we loved made customers want to come back, because they're like, "Man, I love the games that Dan plays."
Yeah.
And
I loved that we had a store that was like PlayStation versus Xbox when you walk in, and we were a PlayStation fucking store. And if you liked the Xbox, you're gonna have to deal with some heat when you walk in.
Right.
If you want to buy Xbox, go down the fucking street.
But I was okay.
I
was Xbox then.
Yeah,
I was
Dan
both. I had both.
Dan
But
was definitely more Xbox then.
I was on board. I was still on board the 360 then.
And then when
it's not like
when Dan left, I hired a super fucking fanboy Xbox guy for my assistant manager, and that was like a unique dynamic in the store, because it's like he comes in and says, "I'm thinking about buying a 360," and I'm like, "Cool. If you want to make a mistake, let me get you Jeff. He's our specialist." And we can have that kind of conversation and laugh and joke, because console wars was a thing. I don't think it is anymore, but it was becoming a joke at that point too. Yeah. And I think everyone's ability to have fun with each other and mess around was something special. And I have not seen that in a GameStop, and I don't see it anywhere else either. But I expect it out of a place like that, because I know it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I always felt like GameStop should be like your local comic book shop.
100%.
Yeah, they're a Marvel or they're a DC store or they're an IDW store or whatever it is.
But the people come in and hang out and look at the stuff and argue about that.
Yeah, that's what makes a specialty store fun. Like that's why you go to a music store. That's why you go to a comic book store. Like nail on the head, man. Like that's the point of the store. That's the point of GameStop is not to go in and pre-order games. The point of GameStop is to go in and buy games from gamers. To go in and have this conversation right here. Right? This is what we used to do at GameStop. That's why we started this podcast. Is because we did this all day at work anyway. Yeah. So
I worked. I don't know what you guys. Maybe you guys were just conversing. I worked.
Yeah. Bounce a ball off the fucking glass. That's what we did.
You know, it's weird. You know, we have a local cigar shop here. Mm-hmm, I can't imagine what someone who spends all day reading cigar magazines and loves to smoke cigars walked in and said, "What do you think of this?" And they go, "I don't smoke."
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Can you give me someone who fucking deserves to work here? And I know that people need jobs and they get jobs where they can find jobs, but it's a specialty store.
Hire specialty
employees. If you don't smoke, that's fine, but you better know all the fuck about them.
Or at least there needs to be training for that. There
Right.
was no requirement to learn anything about games at GameStop.
There's no training other than this is how you put stuff on the wall and this is how you put stickers on a case.
Now, GameStop does have training now. They did implement it whenever I was leaving. You had to log in like once a week and take a test. But it's like a bullshit test that's only about the games that GameStop corporate wants you to push. So there isn't like a game knowledge.
And that doesn't work either because
training.
As soon as you get pushback, this game is an awesome 3D platformer. Why?
Right. Oh,
it's an awesome 3D platformer. No, I heard you. Yeah. Why? It's an awesome 3D platformer.
I mean, what's so good about this one compared to Banjo-Kazooie? Or
would you like to pre-order Call of Duty?
Let me get my manager.
Yeah. Would you like to pre-order Call of Duty? Also, we have socks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to get that T-shirt on clearance over there.
For $14.99, you can get this magazine.
Just ring me up. I don't want the card. I don't want to renew it. I know I don't have enough points. Put it in the bag. Yeah. And if I see you go for those clear stickers, I will lose my fucking mind.
I'll put my fucking gun on the counter if you put one of those clear stickers on my game
Dude,
case.
last time I was there, he said, he went over there and he grabbed it. And I saw, I watched closely. I see that it's the last copy. I don't like it, but I get it. I worked there long enough to know. He puts it in the case and he reads. I said, "Don't put the sticker on." He said, "I have to." I said, "Don't put the sticker on it. You don't have to. I'm telling you." He said, "Well, you can't return it without it." I can't buy it with it. Okay, don't put that fucking sticker on there. And he said, "Well, I mean, technically with policy, I have to." And that's when I name drop and I'll call him now, the manager. We're not going to put the sticker on there. I'm not being an asshole, but I don't know what kind of glue is on the back of those stickers, but it will not fucking come off.
Nope.
Yeah.
So you can't put it on there. Or I'm just going to walk the fuck out right now. So he didn't put it on there.
Tell him to put it on there and then give you a clean case out of the fucking drawer.
It's such a disaster. It's clearly CA glue on the back of them.
Here's the weirdest part, though. Over time, it collects dust and dirt and still stays sticky.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that happen?
You get that contact cement thing in your library of games where you can't peel them apart ever again.
And there are stickers that exist that are easy to peel off.
We've all encountered those. Those are the best stickers ever made.
Yeah, but why don't they use the ones that are easy to peel off? Because they want it to fuck your case up so they can see if you peeled it off and put it back on.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and I understand that. And some people don't care about that, but that's why I don't buy games that aren't new, and that's why when they get down to their last gutted copy, I don't buy there.
They use barge cement to fucking seal it, and I tear everything all up. It's
the last time I went into GameStop to buy a game was for Overcooked, and they had the case on the wall. I take it up there, the guy goes, "Oh, this is my last copy. Is that okay?" "Nope, it's not okay. I'm just gonna leave." It's like, well, wait, but I can. It's fine. It's fine. I don't give a shit.
It's not you, it's the last copy.
Right? You already put that stupid fucking price sticker on there, and I know that's not going to come off without me fucking the plastic up. And don't even tell me about the clear sticker. And it's not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want it.
I can get the price sticker off pretty easy.
But see it goes back to the comic book store mentality, the specialty store mentality. That's proof that they are just a corporation and don't care about the customers, because the customers that come in to that kind of place don't want that crap.
But some people don't give a shit about. My little brother, you put 1,000 of those clear stickers on there because what he wants is the disc. He wants the game. He wants to experience it. But there are people like me and Ryan, don't put that shit on the cake because I want it to look like I just bought it.
But there are easy ways to, and not every situation is this way, but there are easy ways to appeal to both sides of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
You do need to put something on there. There are ways to put something on there that won't fuck the case up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not
Or
these
that when I have to
cheap-ass
peel
plastic seals that you put on there.
Right. Or that when I peel the price tag off the thing, I don't also make a fingernail print in the clear plastic on the front of it. Like,
You know, when we had our store, we left it on the backing that wasn't sticky, and we folded it and put it inside the case.
yeah.
All you had to do was open the case up, and it fell out.
Right. But that's so they don't hire people that have that attitude of like, how would I want to receive this game? They don't do that anymore.
Well,
they hire people who are, what did you tell me to do? That's what I'm
Well,
gonna
also, our DM used to come and say, hey, that's not how we do stickers. I'm like, cool, bro.
do. Cool. Yeah.
Cool story.
Right.
That's actually
'Cause
how we do
when
it. And also, I'm not tucking my shirt in because it's a fucking video game store.
Yeah.
So,
tucking the shirt in. You never tucked your shirt in.
every time he showed up, I'm like, if that's the worst thing I do, then we're good to go. Have a nice afternoon.
Right.
But it goes back to passion. If the person there is passionate, that's why yesterday, like I said, I would shut that GameStop down because you can tell the person that runs it's not passionate about having a GameStop.
Right.
It doesn't deserve to be open with that person running it, and I don't mean any offense to that person. They probably needed a job really bad, and they may love video games, but their passion for running that store has gone a long time ago. Mm-hmm. It looked like dog shit, and it looked like no one fucking cared. Before you even walked in, the outside of that store looked like no one fucking cared. So, I
feel bad as much shit as I talk about GameStop. That's my favorite retail job that I ever had. I still feel some responsibility to that company, but I just hate where it's at right now because it's not like it was.
I definitely enjoyed my time there initially.
Yeah,
it was a neat place. So, that's enough on GameStop. We could do a whole podcast on just GameStop and video game stores, and there's a reason that new stores pop up. There's a reason that local stores survive, and it's that passion. Also support local if you have it, because it's really fucking hard to run a local game store. Because you do not get support from any of the publishers.
Nope.
Means you have no games. Means you got nothing to sell. Means you have to run a CC's instead.
Ooh, we don't have CC's up here. I so wish we did.
CC's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're proving.
Yeah, I don't know what point you made there.
So
but
it's Little Caesars. That's why people line up to go there. Yeah,
I just don't eat there.
It's also
like
a $6
with a drink.
pizza buffet.
Or $49 with a drink.
I don't do buffet.
Yeah. Also, you can be in there and be like, hey, can you put fish eyes and duck penises on there? And they're like, sure.
Yeah. Like, give me 10 minutes to run this through the thing.
I don't give a shit. Like, I make $7 an hour. Put whatever you want on there. You got to shoot.
Some Alfredo sauce with some, let's see, Skittles and crushed up peanut butter cups. Sure. Here you go.
Sawdust and whatever's in your left pocket, please.
I actually got one coming out right now. You're like, whoa, that's weird.
You guys are good.
Got broken toothpicks on it. Like, fuck it. Like, CC's is exactly what it's supposed to be, and it's delightful.
Yep.
If you want to follow us on the
100%.
social medias, we are at game_stitch. Matt is at goddammit Matt. Dan is at shirtless Dan, and I am at podcast Ryan. Reverse the order.
Yeah, I saw that. I like being first.
Yeah.
Mix it up.
You have to say that every night, don't you?
Mix it up.
No, that he likes being first.
I like being first.
Yeah. Sorry. I like being first.
Yeah.
Or I like being first. Sorry. You can put the sorry before or after. It doesn't matter.
That's right. You know what second is? First loser.
Mm-hmm. Silver medal. No one wants that. No one's like, guess what I won? Silver medal. You're like, great. Who was better than you? That's the only question I have is who was better? Who was faster? Who was stronger?
Who gave you that ass beating?
Yeah. Who whooped that ass? So I want to thank our Patreon supporters before we go. If you support us over there, it's a shout out tier, which is
$10.
Then you get the shout out, which is our friend Garrett Wade.
Thank you, Garrett.
Garrett Wade. And we also have other supporters, so check those out. And thank you for your continued support. And we'll have those fun little surprise envelopes from us will be going out soon.
Yeah.
And
also, if you haven't joined us on Discord yet, we have a Discord server.
Right.
That's discordapp.com. Totally free to sign up. We have a room that's just for everybody who listens. We know you're out there. Come say hi. It's exactly like being in our phone text conversations without the dick pics. So
right. It's just
come
like
over and
that
talk to us.
without the junk shots.
Yeah, come talk to us. It's really fun. It's a good
you
time.
You must have seen my latest message on Discord then.
I guess not.
Check out Dan's potential dick pic. Check it.
I personally,
it's free.
I'm on Discord every day for hours. I know you guys pop in from time to time. Like, we're there to talk to you, and this podcast is about informing you, but we want to get to know you also. So come to Discord. We want to talk to you guys.
I want to toot my own horn for a second.
Go for it.
I am obviously the least involved in social media, and I think that's clear to any people that listen here.
Your ass is on Discord.
I've made
every
a real
day,
effort to try to be on Discord.
Yeah.
I have popped in every day. I'm not usually on for long, but because I know you guys
You're playing
work
Mass
hard.
Effect. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey,
but I
come
feel
on.
like I might work a little harder than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do too. But so the brilliant part about Discord is you can pull it up on your browser. It's like a chat room, right? But you can get the app on your phone free, use the same account, and you can use it like a text messaging app. So as free, you look at it, you respond however you like. It's super easy to use. And just to be able to, the amount of interaction that we've been able to have with like Garrett, for example, in the past 2-3 weeks that we've had it open is fantastic. Like, I've gotten to know so much more about Garrett in the way that he games, and like you get to see just a lot more information about the people who listen to the show and like how he would like us to do the show and what's important to him. It's really cool to get to hear that feedback immediately.
It's an open platform to talk to us, and you get a at the $1 tier you get a subscriber only channel where if you really want to dive into some things and we can really hash some things out with you and talk over some things and what you like and what you don't like and what you want to see, and we love that feedback. Or at the free tier, you can just jump in and chat, and we're in and out of that room all the time. Yeah,
just the normal bullshit. Like, it's free. Just come talk to us. That's what we want. We've been saying it for weeks now. We want to build a community. We want to know you guys, and we want you guys to know us beyond just this podcast. And GameStitch Live is going to help out with that. And our subscribers on Patreon have made that possible. But Discord is also going to make that possible. So join us. Even if you just sign up and lurk and just read, you're like
work and lurk.
Yeah, work and lurk is fine with me too.
That's what Dan does.
But please join us. I think it's so much fun to get to know everybody. Plus, you get a chance to meet Hoffen Show. He's on there constantly. Ricky, my fiance, who helps us out with chats during the live show, she's on there constantly. So there's a lot more. Yeah, most importantly, Dan's on there. There's a lot more going on with the behind-the-scenes crew at GameStitch that you get a part of on Discord that you don't get just by listening to the show.
Also, I put some eggplant emojis up there, so that's something to think about.
It's true, you did.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Only the owners are allowed to put the
pictures and links and the emojis.
Yeah, to react to the statement, and I like to react with either something that's fitting or definitely an eggplant.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's in my most frequently used now. It wasn't on the list. Now it's moved up to like number 3.
Yeah.
So I like where that's going. It's behind angry red face. So
you use that a lot?
Yeah. My disappointment in humanity.
I use fire quite a bit.
I don't use fire. I use angry red face. I like the winky face as my number 1 though.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's like I'm playful, but I'm not too playful. It's one of those things. This has been episode 219 of the official GameStitch podcast. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to rate us on iTunes, 5 stars, thumbs up. Write a review if you have it. You can say it's the worst show you've ever heard. Just drop 5 stars so other people can find it. And if you don't know what a GILF is, you should Google it. You waited this long not knowing what we meant. It's been eaten up at your insides. Probably Google that. Not from a work computer.
Yeah.
If you're work lurking.
Yeah, probably a bad idea.
Yeah, probably do it from your mobile device.
Probably NSFW.
Not safe for work.
That's right.
Or some people like to say not suitable for work. I think that's wrong.
Safe.
Yeah, it's safe.
Because that's objective.
Right. I'll decide what's suitable, right.
What's safe at work is usually laid out somewhere.
Right. There's definitely some profanity or nudity. Usually nudity. Anytime you usually see that, it's nudity.
It's nudity.
There's a nipster.
There's some sort of sexual situation.
Yeah.
Beyond PG-13.
I just like to send porn links out and put not suitable, not safe for the work.
Not safe for work.
They're like, well, no shit, it's porn. I'm like, yep. Now you know.
Yeah.
Or
see, I wasn't wrong.
The more you know. Right. All right. Good night.
Good night.